Hello MicroHealth, my name is Jenna and I am your certified trainer from the Be Well team. So we're going to start our advanced routine for the lower back and the hips. So what I want you guys to do is start off with the one leg bent and the other leg straight. From here you're just going to reach over the body. We're stretching the hamstring, so the back of the leg as well as the calf, which is closer to the foot. You might also feel this in your lower back if we have some tightness. So what we're going to do is hold for about 30 seconds each side, remembering to breathe in and out as we do this, and finding different stretches here. It's okay if you can't reach your toes, just reach the knee or the ankle. Now we're going to switch sides, same thing. I want you to fold over and just breathe as we go through this motion. Now, stretching can be very important because it can keep the muscles flexible and it can keep them healthy and moving in the proper range of motion for our joints, which will in the end cause less pain. The muscles won't become shortened and they won't become tight. As movements get hard, I just want you to think about how you should be uncomfortable but not in pain. And it is for a really great benefit. Okay, moving on to our next exercise, we're going to start by lying on our back. I want you to gently bend one knee and cross it over the body. And from here, we are doing a pretty intense open book exercise. Now, you might feel this in your shoulders. You should feel this in your lower back, as well as the top of the hip. And you may even get a bit of a stretch in that upper back. This is a great stretch for the spine, but just making sure we're very gentle with it. Now, one thing you can do is place a foam roller underneath that bent knee, and it'll be a little bit less intense here. Let's really breathe through this motion. Relax the body towards the ground and try to keep that knee against the ground. We are now settling and getting ready into our next exercise. We are going to sit up. From here, let's do a little crossed leg position. Place one arm onto the ground and reach the other arm over the head. Try not to fall forward or back. Just reach that arm to the opposite wall. We're holding all of these stretches for 30 seconds. And this one you should really feel in the obliques, the hip, as well as a little bit of the shoulder. If we have a tight TFL, tensor fascial latte, then this will be the area you feel it the most in, right on that bottom part of the hip. Let's keep breathing here, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Finding a comfortable position for you, and getting a deep stretch for about 30 seconds. Staying seated, we are going to now do a figure 4 stretch. This is something that you can do sitting in your chair as well. So for this stretch, we're targeting the glutes, the hips, and a little bit of that lower back if our hips and glutes are tight. What you're going to do is try and press your chest as close to you can to the knee. Now, if this is too intense, again, you can relax a little bit here, and you don't need to press as close to that knee as you can. You can bend the elbows a little bit if that helps you relax. Just make sure we're getting a good stretch. And yes, we want it to be uncomfortable, but we don't want to have pain. As we switch sides, we're going to do the same thing. Breathing in and breathing out. Really relaxing within the last couple seconds of this stretch for the glutes and for the hips. to sit up. We're going to put the feet together into a butterfly position, and if you cannot tuck the feet in super close to the body, that is okay. Just leave the feet out. And from here, to get an even deeper stretch, you can bend over the feet. Now, if this stretch is too intense, then don't bend over. Just stay sitting up. Drive the knees down with the elbows. Breathe in and out. Our next stretch is going to be on the knees, so let's go ahead and transition. Now, if this hurts your knee on the ground, you can place something underneath it, but here the main focus is stretching our hip flexors. So you can see where I'm pointing. We want to feel it in the front of that hip, making sure we're not arching that back as we go into this movement, but squeezing the glute and pushing the hip forward. This is a great stretch for the hip flexors that cause back tightness, as well as the quadriceps. An easy transition into a hamstring stretch is going to be just placing the front heel on the ground, keep the back flat, lean over the hamstring, and then relax and round that back, getting a nice stretch throughout the back of the leg. Now, hamstrings do cause a lot of tightness within the back. We want to make sure we are stretching them. Okay, and let's go back to the other side with that hip flexor stretch. Now, it might seem strange, but yes, the front of the hip can cause tightness in the back. It not only pulls our hip bone forward, but it can pull the lumbar spine into a slightly hyperextended position depending on how tight we are. And this can increase the joint pressure in our back. So we want to make sure we really stretch it. Just as we did on the other side, we are going to place the heel on the ground and stretch the hamstrings. Now, if the hamstrings are tight, they pull on what is known as our sitting bones, and that can draw the pelvis into an incorrect position where it starts to tilt backwards. And so then our lower back begins to move forward, and this can really hurt or misalign the spine. So we want to keep them nice and loose. You guys are doing so well. So our next exercise is called 90-90. It is like a modified pigeon stretch. What I want you to do is keep your arms straight behind you. Both legs are 90 degrees in alignment with the hips. You're going to bend over that front knee. And then from here, you can relax the arms. Now, what's super important about stretching the outside of the hips is, again, it can really cause lower back pain if they are tight. It can cause your back to be misaligned. And a lot of times, the area that we are stretching right now is tight because people are sitting too long. It's a part of your hip flexors as well. Now we're going to switch and angle your torso towards your foot. You might be super tight here, so I want you to gently go into this stretch. It's going to be more of a stretch in the groin area, in the middle of the leg. Deep breaths here. Relax the spine, relax the arms. Now we're going to switch sides gently. Again, 90-90 with the legs, torso is straight. As you relax, we bend the arms. And from here, if again it is too tight for you, you can grab a yoga block, you can grab something around the house, maybe a cat. Honestly, anything that is going to allow you to relax and get in a range of motion that is comfortable for you. I'm just showing you from the side here, but we are going to reach towards that foot now. stretching the more inner area as well as the TFL. You can see I'm pointing at. Breathing in and out. We are going through 30-second stretches here, really allowing the body to relax. An easy transition to our next exercise. We are going to do the pigeon stretch. So if you cannot start out with your leg 90 degrees, because the goal is to get those hips on the ground, then you can bend that foot in and allow the hips to sink down. Or, to make it more challenging, move it out 90 degrees, relax the body over that knee, and breathe. Now, a lot of yogis have probably done this, but one thing to make it a little more challenging is you can actively press your knee into the ground and tighten your quadricep. That will cause this to get a little bit more stretch in the front hip flexor. Now, as we switch sides gently, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Feeling a heavy stretch in the glutes, in the hip flexors. Really trying to press the hips against the ground. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And let's prepare for our next exercise by lying on our back. As we make a gentle transition here, you can grab the quad as well as the ankle, placing the ankle either to the side of the quad or underneath the quad. And we are going to stretch the hip flexors even more. This stretch you should feel in the front of the hip flexor as well as the quadricep. We should really be breathing in through the tummy and out through the mouth. I want you to make sure your tummy is expanding. You can place the arms or the hands on the tummy, restricting the chest from moving, but allowing the stomach to move fully. As we really gently fall out of this position, let's go ahead and switch legs. You have to sit up to do so. Place one leg behind you. Gently fall backwards using a little bit of core strength. And relax. Nice deep breaths here. Okay, my friends, we have one more exercise as we come into our final breath here. You're going to transition to a kneeling position, and we're going to do a runner stretch. Now you can go onto your forearms for this stretch if it doesn't feel intense enough, or you can stay on the hands. You're going to be stretching that hip flexor of the extended leg, as well as the side of the hip of the bent knee and the bent leg. You can make this active by going up and down. You can also release some of the tension by placing the knee down onto the ground. Totally up to you and what space you're comfortable in. Good job, you guys. Let's do it again. Making sure that knee doesn't fall out to the side, but it is straight with the hip. Get a deep stretch here. Breathing in and breathing out. All right, you guys, congrats on finishing this episode, and I hope to see you guys in the next wellness session.